Kamala is a regressive. Kamala is a regressive. They always want to paint the Democrats, who sometimes seem like they're left of center, as communist and socialist and far left-wing, liberals. You know who agrees with universal basic income? Not only does Martin Luther King support UBI, but so does Milton Friedman. And if you know anything about economics, that's capitalism 101. That's economics 101. Milton Friedman is capitalism. You call yourself a capitalist, then you should understand Milton Friedman. And Milton Friedman is for universal basic income. And if you just think about it for a second, you need money to be able to spend the money. So if you're a business owner, you want people to have money so they can spend it. You don't have to worry about if they're impoverished or if they're living in the sewers in Las Vegas. We got Americans living in the sewers in Las Vegas. That's who we are as a country, who we are as a nation. Now, there's a couple things that she said that was pretty exciting. She's going to take on the big banks, she says. Okay, that's exciting, but she's a millionaire, $3 to $6 million. She's got the BlackRock consultants. How big is her trust fund? Obama walks in, just a couple $1 million, walks away, $50 million. Throw the corporate criminals in jail. She's going to throw corporate criminals in jail, white-collar criminals. She's going to provide small business and entrepreneurs with capital. Yeah, right. Does anybody believe any of this is the truth? When it comes to immigration, okay, we're supposed to believe she's progressive. She says, do not come on immigration. The Republicans voted the immigration bill down. So she's going to be more stronger on immigration than the Republicans in Congress. There is no pathway to citizenship under Kamala Harris. We don't get any free college. She says that she speaks out of both ends of her mouth. She is both end of her mouth. She is a shape-shifting chameleon. When she was running for president, she runs to the left of Bernie Sanders, but now she's against single-payer Medicare for all. But she's going to keep, protect Social Security, protect the Affordable Care Act. She says she's going to protect Medicare also. But she's opposed to Medicare for all. So she's not for free college. She's not for free child care. She's not going to have a ban on fracking. There's going to be more earthquakes in Oklahoma. So she's a capitalist. She's for the insurance companies. And when it comes to being a progressive prosecutor, Kamala is a cop. Kamala is a cop. Are we going to have police reform under a police officer? Are we going to have a criminal justice reform under a system defender? Are we going to demilitarize the police? She has said that she was for defund the police. Now that she speaks out of both ends of her mouth. So the only way we'll know for sure if we're going to get anything done is two ways. One, she believes it in her heart, and she believes it with the full force of her heart, her mind, body, and soul. When it comes to truancy on public schools, there's people who do homeschooling out here. But she's going to throw all these Huckleberry Finns into damn public schools. I made straight A's in valedictorian. And what did that do? They didn't do shit except for make me the most obedient person there. She's a fascist on truancy. She's a fascist when it comes to the system. When it comes to new Jim Crow, she wants to pile the private prisons as full as possible. So that way you have cheap labor. And how much do the inmates working in prisons as the groundskeepers and janitors and cooks? They make about 8 cents to 37 cents an hour. She sent an innocent man, Jamal Truelove, in jail for murder. He got sentenced to 50 years. She laughed. And she laughed at me. She lost San Francisco $13 million. She laughed when Jamal Truelove was convicted. He served 6 years of his 50-year prison. The first day in prison, he saw a murder. He went to San Quentin. He went to the most notorious prison out there. He was stabbed in prison. So what did he learn in that 6 years? Did he learn to rehabilitate himself? Did they teach him how to sew? Did they teach him some education and skills? No, he got a PhD in criminology. He got into the gangs and this shit ain't working. VP for Status Quo Joe. So she has been a right-winger. She's been number 2 guy for a right-winger. She's going to get pissed off. So when it comes to what does her mind, body, and soul believe, well, the Palestinian protester had said, hey, stop killing kids in Gaza. Stop killing all those Jesus Christ in Gaza and in Palestine. Well, then Joe sends them $23.5 billion that day. So the Palestinian protesters are, trying to get attention, and then she says, I'm speaking, and then we're supposed to believe her lip service. to the Palestinian people, and then $23.5 billion was sent to Netanyahu. Like I said, we got homeless people in the sewers of Las Vegas. We got homeless people in every major city. It's only 500,000, so if we actually tackled this, $20 billion is all we would need to solve homelessness. Instead, we're going to send Netanyahu $23.5 billion. So instead of solving our own homelessness issue, we're going to carry on with the MIC and the empire. Does the empire help the working class? A lot of times that shit that we send over there is that militarized shit comes right back. Genocide Joe, Holocaust Harris, 200,000 dead Jesus Christ in Bethlehem. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, watch out for Kamala Harris. Israel is a white supremacy project. Israel is a theocracy. This is the antithesis of America. We believe in freedom here, freedom of speech, freedom of petition, and the right to religion. But we're going to send $4 billion to Israel to maintain their... Hell, you had Netanyahu 40 years ago saying that, well, fuck America. America's my fucking bitch, and I'll make America fucking pay me for the crimes that I commit. Anti-sex workers. Where is the progressive? She is so regressive, it's not even funny. So she says a lot of decent things, I'm not going to lie. She says that she's for a homeowner Bill of Rights. Well, that's interesting. We do need a second Bill of Rights. Is she going to get us a second Bill of Rights? She's talking about a new way forward. Well, I like that too. She's going to codify Roe v. Wade. Okay, that's fantastic. She's going to have to get that through Congress, though. So that means anything that she truly believes, she's got to believe into her heart, mind, body, and soul. And we need concrete promises. We need a bold, progressive agenda. She doesn't believe in free college. She's not for immigration in the slightest. She's a puppet of BlackRock. The number of billionaires in America increased from 614 to 737. They care about the ultra wealthy. Clinton had changed the Democrats to conservatives. That's the genius of Clinton. Clinton said the difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is that the Democratic Party, they think that by having a big fat middle class, that helps the millionaires and the trillionaires. Whereas the right-wingers are laissez-faire, totally laissez-faire. Anybody and everybody do whatever the hell. That helps the billionaires. So we only cater to the billionaire class. We cater to the trillionaire, millionaire, and billionaire class. The Republicans say let anybody, let them make whatever choices they make. It doesn't matter who they hurt. It doesn't matter how much pollution or how much poverty they create. Whereas the Democrats say with the big fat middle class, you got good workers, skilled workers, and then you got customers. So by having a big fat middle class, that'll help the billionaires the most. She's a capitalist. She's for the insurance companies. She talked about being for Medicare for all. Now she's against it. Which is it, Kamala? Which is it? When it comes to marijuana, she says she's against marijuana. She's for marijuana. She says legalize it 5 years ago, but she threw potheads in jail when she was the Attorney General. Give me a fucking break. This hypocrisy is bullshit. She speaks out of both ends of her mouth. She tries to play both sides of the fence, but you only believe in one thing, not the other. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, is it not? So when you threw Jamal Truelove in jail for murder, you didn't give a shit that he was an innocent man. That was injustice. She established injustice. That's the opposite of America. That's the opposite of our preamble. Is she going to free Mumia? Is she going to free Leonard Peltier? What about Edward Snowden? Is he going to come home? He needs to head the NSA. And yes, we do need Kennedy to be the head of the CIA. Is she going to get Kennedy to be the head of the CIA? Is she going to prosecute the white-collar corporate criminals? I bet you she doesn't. Free Medhurst? She's going to let the ex-felons vote, right? She's for passing a Voting Rights Act. Don't we all have a right to vote already? How many times you got to pass the same fucking bill? This is passed 50 years ago. We still got to pass the same shit? What is changing here? Release the JFK files? Is she going to release them? The Epstein files or the UFO files? Are we going to find out finally who killed JFK? And where the fuck are those $20 Tubmans at? Pro-reparations, pro-war on drugs, or against war on drugs? She's a shape-shifting chameleon. She'll say whatever she needs to say to get elected. She'll say one thing to one crowd, and she'll be whoever you want her to be. When she took the role of San Francisco District Attorney in 2003, the city's felony conviction rate rose 52% to 67% in only 3 years. Most of those convictions were non-violent drug offenses. So when she talks about legalizing marijuana, fuck you, I don't believe you. When she talks about protecting Medicare for all, she was for Medicare for all. She's talking about protecting Medicare now. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I do think that you'll be a fascist when it comes to truancy. You'll be a fascist when it comes to innocent people. You'll be a fascist when a cop kidnaps a person. You'll be a fascist on Palestine. You'll be a fascist regressive when it comes to immigration. No pathway to citizenship. So what are we going to do with the 20 million immigrants that are in this country now? When it comes to free college, she is a fascist regressive, fascist regressive, fascist regressive, fascist regressive. She's going to codify Roe v. Wade. I bet you she will. So we'll get that one freedom. What about the Bill of Rights? Are we going to get those freedoms? What about all those freedoms that SCOTUS has declared for us throughout the years? Griswold v. Connecticut. We're going to have a right to condoms. She's calling for construction of 3 million new housing units. She says she wants to provide $25,000 in down payment support for more than 1 million first-time home buyers. 1 million? You got 330 million Americans here. Where's that money coming from? And if we could just print this money up for Israel whenever the hell that they want it, why can't we print money up for ourselves, for UBI, for childcare, for education, for healthcare? Expand the earned income tax credit. Tax credits? Who needs tax credits? Fucking middle class people. Oh, they don't want to pay their $1,000 taxes, so give them a tax credit. Now they're not paying any taxes. So who's going to pay the taxes? It's going to be a national sales tax. She's going to combat price gouging on groceries. How? By authorizing the Federal Trade Commission. So in a way you could be authoritarian to crack down on these right-wing regressive corporations. And she's saying that that'll do it. But excessive price hikes on customers, so when milk goes from $3 a gallon to $10 a gallon, then something will happen. But if they slowly, incrementally, milk is $3, then $4, then $5, then $6, she ain't going to do anything because that's not an excessive price hike. But we're giving a lot more power to the Federal Trade Commission. Do you know anybody on the Federal Trade Commission? Why would you give so much power to the Federal Trade Commission? Eliminate medical debt for millions of Americans. She speaks a good game. There's a lot of things that she says she's pro-net neutrality. She's against the war on terror. She's not going to give money for Saudi Arabia to support their war on the Houthis in Yemen. She says a lot of great things. But ultimately, what I know to be true, what I know for a fact is that she's a fascist regressive to the tune of $23.5 billion. She's against sex workers. Why is that? She's against Mary Magdalene. She is no Jesus Christ. She is no Edward Snowden. She is no Gandhi or Mumia Abu-Jamal. No to private post office boxes. What the fuck is that about? Shut down escort websites that often protect sex workers from exploitation and violence. She's going to keep on locking up sex workers. Do not come on immigration. Do not come to Guatemala. That's what she says. Do not come to Guatemala. Or Guatemalans, do not come here. Do not come here, she says. Oh, okay. So you'll be sent away. You'll be sent away if you come here. So she's a DA, Kamala the cop. We're not going to get criminal justice reform. We're not going to get police reform. You got all those outrageous prices. Transcripts are $1 per page. They'll throw shit out on a technicality, or they'll just outright lie. Well, you were supposed to do it this way, and you didn't cross your T and dot your I. So that means they get away with murder, and you can't even be an honest person who actually does the Bill of Rights. Kamala is a regressive fascist. She cost San Francisco $13 million for throwing Jamal Trulove in jail. She laughed at him. He's an innocent man. Ha ha. I just threw you in jail. Ha ha. What a brat. What a silly brat, huh? And now, if you're getting some loving out of her, well, I guess that silly brat would be pretty fun to have around. It's chaos, and you'd have to make sure that you got your money book. Make sure you got your pocketbooks. Make sure you got your bank accounts in line. But putting a brat in charge, putting a spoiled brat in charge, well, she's just playing DA. She's just playing Attorney General, and she's just going to play President. Jamal Trulove got stabbed on year 6 of his 50-year sentence. He saw murder on day 1. He goes to San Quentin. Innocent is innocent. She's forcing children to go to school. These are right-wing authoritarian institutions. You got a clear hierarchy, superintendent, principal, teacher, and then the lowly student. She is forcing the student to be on the bottom rungs of society. I'm supposed to believe in a meritocracy. I'm supposed to believe in a upward mobility. Bullshit. Blind obedience to authority is fascist as fuck. What did the American revolutionaries say? They said that resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. Resistance to tyranny is obedience to God. She truly gets pissed off at the American protesters who's opposed to genocide. We keep on bombing the shit out of children. It happens every goddamn day. Every fucking day, a child is getting killed by America and Israel. What is progressive about any of this shit? She speaks out of both ends of her mouth. We don't truly know who she is or what she believes. And since Donald is such a piece of shit, they can run her as a blank slate candidate. She could be both the liberal and the conservative candidate. Since they're running her as a blank slate candidate, all she needs is a few progressive breadcrumbs to make it look like she's forward thinking, to make it look like she wants a new way forward, to make it look like she's a progressive, because compared to the fucking orange-haired in chief, that fucking fascist regressive, she's a fascist regressive, he's a fascist regressive. All she has to do is just say she's going to codify Roe v. Wade, give some free school lunches, do paid medical leave and family leave, but she hasn't even promised that. But her vice president was all for those things, Tim Walz. But that's all she would need to do. We know her true colors. We know who she is. She's for the billionaire class. She's for the corporate class. Expect $4 billion to go to Israel every year. But don't expect any homes for the homeless who live in the sewers of Las Vegas to be built. Don't expect a war on poverty. Don't expect universal health care or universal college or vocational school. Don't expect universal basic income. She tried to run to the left of Bernie, but it didn't work. She got into power because she kissed status quo Joe's ass. Genocide Joe and Holocaust Harris. She's a shape-shifting opportunist. She's opposed to Medicare for all. She's against Medicare for all. She's against immigration. She's opposed to sex worker protection. She's against private post office boxes, which, what is that about? You will be sent back, she says to Guatemalan immigrants. You will be sent back. This is right-wing, fascist, regressive shit. You can be balanced, and you can be a moderate on these issues, but she's speaking, a decent game. So she'll convince a bunch of not smart people, the uneducated class. She might convince that she's going to be different. But what did Obama do? Obama ran as a progressive, and then he ruled as Ronald Reagan. Take on the big banks. Wall Street loves her. Why would she take on the big banks if Wall Street loves her? Where's the $20 Tubmans at? Perfection requires constant change. UBI checks need to be written up now. America needs a bold progressive agenda. She's got $3 to $6 million in stocks and bonds and trust funds. What in the fuck could a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire know about the middle, working, poor, and homeless classes of Americans? They don't know jack shit. Oh, you worked at McDonald's 50 years ago? Well, you probably could afford college with the McDonald's wage. Now, you can't afford even to buy a meal from McDonald's if you work at McDonald's. America's bursting at the seams. Dumb shit is happening all around us. And not only, you got to get it right. You got to be Goldilocks. You have to get it right. Because if you're going to throw innocent men in jail and then let the criminals roam free, well, you're just going to fuck this country up even more. We can't let the criminals roam free, and you can't throw innocent people in jail. You got to get it right. You got to know the objective truth. The truth is objective. There is no your truth, my truth, his truth. JFK's head went back into the left. There's only the truth, the objective truth, and that is it. You're trying to tell me she's going to be a progressive, she's going to be a liberal, a socialist? Get the fuck out of here. She's communist. Yeah, I wish she was any of those things, but she's a fucking capitalist, imperialist. Why would she be a puppet to BlackRock? Why has she got these hedge fund managers? Why is she a multimillionaire index investor? How many stocks do you own, America? She is a regressive fascist. She's a regressive fascist, I'm telling you. She's a regressive fascist. She'll rule the country as Ronald Reagan, just like the rest of them. She won't even be as liberal as Nixon, let alone FDR or Abraham Lincoln or even George Washington. What is progressive about her? What is progressive about her? She is a regressive. She is a fascist, right-wing regressive. Perfection requires constant change. And she's a shapeshifter. She's a chameleon. So her image will change, but she herself will continue to eat them fucking Doritos. And eat your Doritos, that's all right. But she is who she is. And she is not a progressive. She's a regressive fascist. A shape-shifting opportunist. That's who she is. Mark my words. $23.5 billion right after she got shitty with the protesters, the Palestinians. So you stand up for Palestine. We got free speech here, right, in America. You're allowed to protest and petition and peacefully assemble. No, you're not. Not if you're for Palestine. AIPAC has got Congress owned lock, stock, and barrel. People want to say that the racism shit doesn't matter. The racism shit does matter. Maybe she'll be good on racism. She called Sandra Massey $3 to $6 million in stocks and bonds and trust funds. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. She is a regressive fascist. Mark my words, Kamala Harris is a fascist regressive. We got to get Cornel West, Claudia De La Cruz, or Jill Stein in there. That's the only way America can redeem herself. The only way America, we need a soul and we need a conscience. We've been these right-wing fucking imperialist capitalists for so long. Just you, me. That's it. You just going to think about just yourself so the billionaires are going to make fucking bank? We got to think about, we got to use our heart every once in a while. We got to think about the community every once in a while. And we need to change shit. Keep the things that are working. Throw out the shit that's not working. You will be sent back, she says to the Guatemalan immigrants. Well, what would have happened if they would have sent her Jamaican father back? You will be sent back. Do not come.